When old rivals meet again. The coastal air tasted of salt and warmth as Nira Holt stepped out of the shuttle and into the courtyard of the seaside resort. Sunlight shimmered off the pale stone paths, and gentle waves hummed somewhere beyond the palm trees. It should have been relaxing, a weekend away from deadlines and blueprints and clients who couldn't decide what they wanted. But Nira's stomach knotted with tension, and it had nothing to do with work. She adjusted the strap of her bag, smoothed her ponytail, and told herself she could handle anything for the sake of Lena Rowe, her closest friend since childhood, the one person she'd never say no to. The resort lobby bustled with guests, luggage wheels clattering on marble floors. Nira stepped inside, blinking as the cool air wrapped around her. Before she could even reach the check-in desk, she heard a voice she instantly recognized. Well, well, I never thought Nira Holt would willingly attend a social event with actual human beings. She froze. No, absolutely not. Not him. She turned slowly, her expression already slipping into its defensive armor. Standing near the concierge desk, leaning one elbow casually on the counter, was Calden Frost. Of all the people in the world, of course Lena invited him. His dark hair was a little longer than she remembered, his jaw slightly sharper, but his smirk, infuriating, confident, impossible to ignore, was exactly the same. "Calden," she said flatly, "I thought you were too busy conquering the tech world to bother with weddings." "I make exceptions for old friends," he replied, pushing off the counter and walking toward her. "Besides, I'm the best man, and you, maid of honor. Guess that makes us colleagues for the weekend." Her jaw tensed. "Don't remind me." Their rivalry stretched back to university, competing for top grades, top projects, top recognition. Every group assignment had felt like a battlefield, every debate a duel. He had always challenged her, always poked at her patience, always smiled as if winning came naturally to him. She hated how easily he got under her skin. Before she could give him a proper glare, Lena Rowe appeared between them like a burst of sunshine. "You're both here," she squealed, pulling Nira into a hug, then dragging Calden into one too. "Perfect timing! I need my maid of honor and best man to not murder each other for at least 48 hours. "No promises," Nira muttered. "I heard that," Calden said. Lena rolled her eyes, linking their arms together as if sheer force could make them cooperate. "Please, please behave. I don't care what happened in college. I just need you two to help me survive this wedding." Nira softened slightly. "For you? Fine." Calden gave a mock salute. "I'll try my best." The next few hours blurred into a whirlwind of tasks, sorting welcome baskets, organizing guest lists, checking table placements. The two of them worked side by side, trading snide comments like old habits they couldn't break. "You're folding the ribbons wrong," Calden said at one point. "I didn't realize you were a ribbon expert," she shot back. "I'm an expert at correcting you," he replied with a grin. She nearly threw a basket at him. By the time evening settled, exhaustion weighed on her shoulders. But the day wasn't over yet, not with the rehearsal dance still ahead. And as Nira walked into the softly lit ballroom where music echoed off polished floors, she already dreaded the moment Calden Frost would place his hands on her waist. Something told her that this wedding weekend was about to get much more complicated.
The night before everything changes. Twilight settled over the resort like a soft blanket, washing the courtyard in streaks of coral and pale gold. Lanterns flickered to life along the pathways leading toward the rehearsal dinner, their warm glow bouncing off the ocean waves. Guests mingled around tables dressed in ivory linen, laughter bubbling like champagne. Nira Holt stepped into the courtyard with cautious steps, smoothing her dress even though she didn't care much about appearances. She was too busy trying to steady her heartbeat. All day she'd replayed the same sentence over and over in her head. "I just don't want that kiss to be something you regret." Calden Frost had said it quietly, sincerely. She hadn't known what to do with that. And now she had to see him. Her stomach twisted. Lena rushed to her side, breathless and joyful in her deep green dress. "Doesn't everything look perfect?" she asked, taking Neera's hands. "It does," Neera said, offering a small smile. "And you look perfect too. Don't fight me on this. You look amazing." Neera didn't argue, not because she agreed, but because she was too busy scanning the courtyard for him. She spotted Calden near the bar, sleeves rolled up, tie loosened slightly, talking to the groom. He looked different, softer, like he'd been replaying things too. But when his gaze lifted and met hers, time wobbled. Calden excused himself from the conversation and walked toward her. Neera stiffened. "Don't you dare say anything dramatic," she whispered under her breath. Calden stopped in front of her, a careful smile tugging at his lips. "Evening," he said quietly. "Evening," she replied, trying not to sound breathless. The space between them felt electric. "Can we talk?" he asked. Neera swallowed. "After dinner, maybe." He nodded, though his eyes revealed disappointment. "Okay, after dinner." The meal went by in a blur of speeches, clinking glasses, and jokes about how much the bride and groom had to drink during their first date. Neera laughed when she was supposed to, smiled when someone looked her way, but her focus kept drifting back to Calden. Every time she glanced up, he was already watching her. And each time, he looked away just a little too slowly. When dinner ended, slow music drifted through the speakers. Couples took to the center courtyard to sway under strings of fairy lights. The bride and groom danced first, stealing kisses between steps. Neera slipped away to the edge of the terrace, needing air. The ocean breeze cooled her flushed skin. "You're hiding," Calden's voice said gently behind her. She didn't turn. "Just thinking." "About what?" I sighed. "Don't make me say it." He stepped beside her, not touching her, but close enough that she felt the warmth radiating from him. "I've not trying to make things difficult," he said softly. "I know we've always clashed." "Clashed," she repeated with a raised brow. "We practically set things on fire every time we talked." He chuckled. "True, but I think we both misunderstood each other for a long time." Neera shook her head. "And suddenly now you want to fix that?" Calden hesitated. "No, not suddenly. I just never thought you'd want to hear it." The confession stunned her. She looked at him fully now, seeing something unguarded in his expression, vulnerability she had never associated with him. "Calden." "Neera, about the kiss." Her breath hitched. "I know we both called it an accident, but it didn't feel like one. At least, not to me." Her pulse thundered. "You don't have to say this." "I want to say it." Wind played with the loose strand of her hair, and Calden reached out before he could stop himself, gently tucking it behind her ear. The touch was soft enough to unravel her resolve. She froze. He pulled back quickly. "Sorry," he murmured. "Don't be," she said. Another song drifted through the warm twilight, slow, melodic, impossibly intimate. Couples continued dancing on the terrace. Someone laughed nearby, a soft, happy sound. Neera felt something shift inside her. "Calden," she whispered. "Dance with me." Shock flickered across his face, not smug victory, not teasing triumph, but something pained and hopeful all at once. "Are you sure?" he asked. "Yes." She wasn't sure what she expected when she stepped toward him and placed her hand in his, but she definitely didn't expect the way her breath caught when he closed his fingers around hers, gently, like she was something fragile, something important. Calden's other hand rested at her waist, warm and grounding. Neera set her free hand on his shoulder. They began to sway, soft steps moving in time with the music. It felt different from the rehearsal. Less awkward, less forced, more real. "You're shaking," he whispered.
"I'm not shaking," she lied. He smiled slightly. "Neera." He tilted his forehead toward hers. Not touching, just close. Dangerously close. She didn't pull away. Their breaths mingled. Their movement slowed. The music swelled. And for the first time in years, Neera Holt didn't hate Calden Frost's presence. She craved it.